This project is for Wake Tech incredibly important because it really holds for their new East Campus the general classes that they will need for their campus to be viable. And so it was really important for us to capture a lot of the different programs in this one building. It's called the Education and Innovation Center. They changed the names from General Education. It has probably 15 different programs in it. And so what's interesting is that instead of having it divided up into little pieces, we were able to really focus on a lot of the public spaces and the spaces that were for the whole campus to utilize. Like, for example, there's a great library, there's a little cafe space in there, there's gaming areas, and then on the upper floor, there's laboratories. So as you can tell, it really has a lot of different programs in it.
The biggest need of the community is access to higher education. So this campus fills that need for Eastern Wake County. But our project in particular will be the hub of student activity. We're bringing together spaces like the library and the student commons and student services, food services. So our project's unique in that it becomes the hub of student activity and allows for the campus to be accredited. And I would say one of the challenges but successes of the project was our ability to bring together all of these different programs and space types under one roof. So to do that, we met with a ton of different groups of stakeholders really often to listen to their needs and to balance it with the overall project drivers. Some of the initial goals for the project was welcoming and access and equity. So we designed a transparent base. So the entire base of the building is transparent. And there are many different entrances around all the sides of the building. So it really welcomes students equally who are coming from parking area or who might bike or use public transportation. And then the long side of the building faces the public green space. So that creates a connection to the community, and the covered area that's created by the canopy creates community amenity space that Wendell really doesn't have much of.
VSA helped Wake Tech to create project drivers during advanced planning, which helped us to focus all of our design decisions on the goals that we were trying to achieve. And really all they did was ask questions on what we wanted, and then they just put it together in a formula that made sense. And then drivers were reviewed at every project meeting to keep the project on track, to make sure we were making decisions based on those drivers. And at the end of the project, we met each one of those drivers, and I think that made for a successful project. Another one I think is really important is that this project went to bid at one of the most volatile times in the market. It was crazy. So that really drove up the price. And so we were way over our original estimate, but it was a great effort between VSA and our CM at Risk, Monteith, to really look at some value engineering solutions that still kept the design intent for the project, but we could save some money. So it was a really good effort, I think. And when you look at the building, you're like, there's no value engineering in this building. It looks great, so we still got to keep all the bells and whistles.
So one of our biggest kind of missions for this project was really, interestingly, focused around sustainability. And we've recently just got confirmation that it has 3 green globes. For those who are not necessarily familiar with green globes, it's like a LEED Gold equivalent. And that's huge for the project and for Wake Tech as well. And one of the things we tried to do with that was to put that on display.
They started with a really high efficiency central plant. So they've got a geothermal system, which really does a lot to drive down the energy use intensity for cooling cycles, and some heating in the winter as well. Everything on the campus will benefit from that. But from there, we also looked at things that were somewhat on display because this campus focuses on emerging technologies. The solar panels were part of the story to be seen and told. You'll see a pretty direct display of those solar panels, that we put them up on a superstructure so that students could sort of observe how everything works together. They were really interested in that, and I think it was one of the things that helped organize the massing of the building from one end to the other. I think in addition to the sustainability things that we tend to think of. There was kind of a wellness component. So, there's an open stair that really encourages students to move vertically. And we sort of put the elevators conveniently located by the lobby, but not necessarily the most prominent things. There's things like that. And then just, the access to daylight, that you get around all sides of some of the inboard classrooms and some of the outboard classrooms. So there's a lot of little moments that I think it was a really pleasant process to go through because the client was so forward thinking about a lot of things. They did not react out of fear to things. They really looked at the value in certain systems and said, that's for us and let's commit to it. So it was great.
So I think the East Campus in general was a great way to bring new opportunities for residents of this growing part of our county. We have campuses all over Wake County, and now we have the East. So it was really kind of filling a void in the community. And so we're hoping to reach the students wherever they are. Definitely the students that we try to reach and rally behind, this really helps find them where they're at so that they have the opportunities that they deserve.